Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today, as you can tell by the title, I will be telling you all about my HSG test. If you have looked this video up or it has come into your recommendations or however you found it, you are probably struggling with infertility at the moment or know of someone who is. So if you are, welcome to the community. I do have a story about my infertility that I uploaded as my previous video. I will link it as like an info bar popping up here. Also at the end of the video, it'll show up if you are interested in seeing that. I did already film this like right after my test, but I went back and I watched and it was all over the place, so I figured I would just refilm it. If you're interested or if you would like to know my history prior to taking this test or why I needed to take it regarding my infertility, all of that information is going to be in that last video. So, before I got my HSG test, when I scheduled it with the infertility nurse that I see, and she kind of told me a little bit about the test, and then also told me to remember to take at least 800 milligrams of ibuprofen because there will be some pain. It'll feel like period pain, but it'll only last like 5-ish minutes, not very long. So I did that. My test was in the morning at 9:30, and I took 800 milligrams of ibuprofen at a little after 8:30, and then I went to my test. I don't know if everyone does it like this. I would assume so because it's getting an x-ray. So before I go in and I actually tell you about my experience, I'll tell you a little bit of what an HSG test is. So for an HSG test, I think everyone's steps on how to get to it are different. I had a different doctor in previous years, as I mentioned in the other video, and she did not do that first. She didn't, I don't know when she was going to get to this point or if she was going to. So my new doctor, after seeing the attempts we made previously, decided to start with the HSG test. What an HSG test is basically they have to go into your cervix. They insert like a solution so that they can see your cervix and your fallopian tubes and everything through an x-ray machine. So they have to insert that, and they take your picture to see if your tubes are blocked. A lot of the times, if your tubes are blocked, this procedure or this solution that like goes through it is basically more often than not unblocks your tubes, and that's kind of what it is. I'll get into the exact procedure in a moment. So my nurse told me to take ibuprofen, and I did that. When we got to the hospital, we checked in at the lab/x-ray section, and I got in pretty quick. It was the morning of a weekday, so it wasn't too busy. They took me and they had me get completely undressed, and I wore one of their gowns, and then they took me to a room. Then they kind of explained what they were going to do to me, but I basically already knew. I had the sweetest, kindest, the sweetest, kindest nurse there. She was absolutely amazing, and I got undressed in a different like area, and then I took all my stuff to that room, and then the nurse basically showed me around. My doctor was with another patient at the time, so we had to kind of wait for her. She showed me the bathroom, had me put my stuff in the bathroom, and then they had a pad ready for me there because you can bleed after the test. So I had to wait a few minutes for my doctor to get down, and I'm a very anxious person, and as I said, I looked up this test previously and how they did it and how other people felt about it, and I really worked myself up, and even just sitting there waiting, my anxiety was going through the roof. So I was really working myself up, and that didn't help too much with my experience. So then we got there. I was lucky enough that they allowed my husband to come with me, even through COVID and everything. I'm very glad he was there because he was able to calm me down and hold me down. So basically, the test it starts off like a pap smear. So they have the speculum, and they, insert it to open up the opening, and then they have this clamp where they have to open your cervix. So they use the speculum to open up your area, and then they use the clamp to open up your cervix. The first thing they do after they insert the speculum is they clean out the insides. They just make sure everything is clean and sanitized. That part did not hurt. It was a little uncomfortable. I thought it hurt at the moment because adrenaline, anxiety, etc., but that part did not hurt. Then she inserted the clamp and opened up my cervix. That part hurt a little bit. And they just have you breathe through it. Just take deep breaths. Try to stay as still as you possibly can. The test is super, super, super fast. Like, it really is. It maybe lasted 10 minutes tops. So after, while she was opening my cervix, it didn't hurt that much, but it still hurt. And then, they started to tell me everything they were doing, but I didn't want to hear it. I knew, I looked it up, but I didn't want to hear what they were doing in the moment, so I was like, don't tell me what you're doing. So after this, I don't entirely know what happened. But I think the next step, the step that really kind of hurt, was when she was inserting, the tube that had the liquid in it. That part really started to pain me, and she removed the speculum. Why does that sound like the incorrect word now? Anyway, she removed that, and it took away a lot of the pain. So that's one tip that I would give you guys. If your doctor, doesn't remove it and you are feeling a lot of pain, ask them if they can remove it, because that relieved a ton. And once they get everything inserted, they don't need it anymore. And then the next step was her inserting that liquid. That part was the most painful part. It felt very painful in the moment. Again, adrenaline and anxiety did not help me. Just try to remain calm. And for a lot of women, from the reviews that I've seen, it's literally 50-50. Some people didn't feel a thing, and some people said it was the worst pain of their life. I haven't been in pain a lot of times. I wouldn't say it's the worst pain in my life. It definitely felt like a period pain. It was just really uncomfortable because you have to stay super still. And when you're at home and you're on your period and you're experiencing cramps, you can curl up and position your body so you get some kind of relief, but you just have to stay really still. And I mean, this fluid is moving through your cervix and going into your fallopian tube, so it's not going to feel good in any, sense. It really felt bad for me, though. I obviously wasn't watching. My husband was there, though, and he said, she inserted the liquid and she went right back out. But obviously, as it's spreading through your body, you feel it. I definitely felt it. And I, at that point, was begging. I was like, please stop. I don't want any more liquid, please. And she's like, I'm not. She had one hand, under me to just, keep everything in place because the clamp was still inside me, obviously. And she's like, I'm not putting any more liquid in. But I could just feel it going into my tubes. Specifically my right one, my left one, and Ryan was watching, my husband was watching the x-ray machine. and he said, like, it just spilled into your left tube. Like, it was in there, but it was, like, it was, like, slowly, I don't know the word I'm looking for, it was really, really slow getting into my right tube, and I could feel that at the moment, and it was very, very, very crampy there. I had to put my hand down and just put pressure on it. It hurt. It did hurt. And there was at this point, I was, like, out of my body. I was like, I can't be here. So I was not paying attention. There was another doctor that came in. It was not an x-ray tech. It was like an x-ray doctor. I didn't know there was such a thing. But he came in, and he was kind of, I guess, just doing the x-ray thing. And at one point, he told my doctor, he was like, it's having quite a time getting into the right tube. Should we have her flip over? I didn't know this. If I had actually, like, heard that, I would have been like, that's not happening. I cannot move. This is where you have me. Take it or leave it. But my doctor was like, no, like, it's getting through there. I think it's fine. So, he finally left. She removed the clamp. That also did not feel good. And then once she removed it, I felt all the liquid, like, come out of me. It wasn't a ton. Some people don't feel it then. Some people feel it, like, rush out of them when they get up. So just a forewarning. And your nurse might tell you this too. So when we were done, she showed me the x-ray, which I honestly don't even remember. The main thing I remember seeing is, like, my cervix and where the clamp was. I was so out of it, so that's another reason I'm really glad my husband was there, because he heard everything she had to say. She said my tubes, if they were blocked, they are no longer blocked. I mean, from the sounds of it, from what the x-ray looked like and everything, it seemed like my right tube was a little bit blocked, but it's no longer blocked. And, yeah, so, I mean, it's a good thing that they're not. And then after she explained, like, the x-ray and everything, she gave us some options. Obviously, everybody's options are going to be different depending on where you are in the testing, where you are in your infertility journey and everything, but these are the options that she gave me. She said after this test, a lot of couples have very good chances of getting pregnant because everything is cleared out and clean in there. I did look it up, and, like, after this test, it really raises the percentage of chances of getting pregnant. So we can try that. We can try going on letrozole for a few months and doing shots and see if that does anything for us. Or, and she didn't say which one she recommended or not. She just gave us the options. Or we can do is it a laparoscopy, which is the test to see if you have endometriosis. And for that one, they have to put you down under general anesthesia, and they surgically, like, have to go in there with a camera, see everything. I think that's where my husband and I are leaning towards. I think we're going to try naturally for the next few months and hope and pray and hope that it works for us and we conceive. If it doesn't, I think we'll go that testing route, just because we both said we don't want to waste more time taking more pills if it ends up not working. And I mean, am I a little nervous? Yes. I don't want to, go under anesthesia and come back out, have this surgery happen, and, nothing's wrong, so I kind of did it for no reason. It would be really nice to know for sure and see where we go from there, but those are our next options. After my doctor left, the nurse gave me a towel just as I got up to put under me, just to make sure nothing leaks out on the floor. as soon as everything was taken out of me, the speculum, the clamp, everything, and I got up, I felt totally fine. No cramps, no hurting, no nothing. I got dressed and I went home and I went on with the rest of my day. I just rested because it was a lot for me mentally. But yeah, I felt a cramp like here and there, but it was not anything really bad. It was just like a quick, almost like a pinch. I did read that some doctors do give an antibiotic at the end. They prescribe something just in case of infection. Mine did not. I feel perfectly fine. There is a very, 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 very small chance of infection after these tests. You can read that online for yourself. It just depends on your doctor, your health, etc., etc. Yeah, that was my experience. I would basically highly suggest that you double check with your nurses, your doctors, if they don't tell you to take any kind of a painkiller beforehand. I would ask them if it's okay if you do, because I think it helps a ton. And then also just make sure while you are in the procedure, if you're feeling pain, ask them if they can take the speculum out, because that really, really helped me. Again, it's really a super fast test. 5-10 minutes, you're out. It took me a little longer because I was waiting for my doctor to come in. But yeah, I definitely don't regret doing it. At least I got some answer, even though we still don't necessarily know what's wrong. But that's where we are at in our journey right now. So we'll try for the next few months and see how that goes. Hopefully we get some good luck. And yeah, that's all I got for you guys right now. Hopefully my next video will be a pregnancy announcement or my next infertility journey video. But we'll see. It'll probably be a little while before I upload my next video. Please feel free to leave any questions that you guys have down below. If you have any advice, feel free to leave that as well. And if you have any video suggestions, if there's anything that you want to do, like what I'm doing in the meantime, foods I'm eating, exercises I'm doing, tests I'm taking, etc., just let me know in the comments. Also like this video, just so that, I know I'm not doing it for no reason. I'll still probably upload them just because these videos have really helped me. And if they can help anyone else in the same position, I'm happy to upload them. So, yeah, that's all I have. Honestly, like I said, it was not the worst thing ever. It did feel like the worst thing ever in the moment, again, because of my adrenaline, my anxiety. I worked myself up over it. Definitely also check and see if you're not sure, see if your significant other can come in with you. I think it's really helpful, especially if you're not the best with pain or with doctors or anything like that. At least they can be there paying attention while you're off in La La Land trying not to kill the doctors. My poor doctors, I was cussing them out the entire time. I felt so bad. I apologized a million times afterwards, but yeah. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys soon in a new video. I'm going to have some fun uploads coming up, lifestyle related, and I hope you will stay and see those as well. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.